Welcome to the Poison Touch Advice Hour, the podcast where a gay and his friends give you all the best and worst advice to deal with all of life's predicaments, even if you've tweeted something controversial and shoved your phone up your ass on Do Not Disturb. Wait, no, on Vibrate. I am joined today by Aaron from the recently rebranded Fearquency podcast. Previously, Aaron the Bland, now Fearquency. It's a badass name. He's got a badass cover. Aaron, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for that cute little intro of yours. Yeah, I was really excited changing my name, and it was a long time coming in like 2 years, I would say. So I was just I needed something that will encapsulate all horror and everything of horror themes. So I'm really happy with what it came with, and even though I was jotting out a lot of different names, that one definitely stuck. So thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Fearquency is a good one. What was the other one that you mentioned?
I did Creep Wave was
Creep
another
Wave. I
one.
thought that was cool
Yeah.
too, but I kept on
Yeah.
thinking of Creep Show.
Yeah, I was thinking that or Creep from like the movie Creep.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
And
good one.
then one of my other friends was like, I don't know, it's just making me think of creeps in general. And I'm like, I guess, whatever.
I get it.
So he helped me with actually Fearquency, and that one really stuck. I really wanted Fear Frequency, but that
Yeah.
one was already taken. And Fearquency just really like rolls off the tongue fairly well, I would say. So I
Yeah.
like it.
Frequency's a
Yeah.
good one. Before we get into the shenanigans and the questions of it all,
Mhm.
for the people that are just tuning in and are like, who the hell is this? Aaron runs the Fearquency podcast. You want to talk a little bit about your podcast and what you do there? And then I'll talk about the episode that I was on recently.
Yeah. Well, Fearquency now is hosted by me. Your favorite final boy is what I like to call myself because I think personally I would be a final boy in a horror movie, but I would love to have a nice, cool, like killer scene, like quote unquote, But it is everything all based of horror. So 98% of it is going to be horror based. So if you are into horror movies, maybe even a little true crime here and there, then I am that person that loves to deep dive into them. I even had Jake on a recent episode for Hellraiser. So if you guys want to go check that one out, he is also a horror nerd, just like me deep down, I feel.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And I would really appreciate you guys if you guys do go check it out. And if you just based on horror, that's literally what it is.
It's a really good time. He will do movie reviews. He'll go through the plot summary, then in like analysis. Sometimes it's interviews with other creators. I like the episode you had. I forget their name, but they did the customization on the dolls, the Chucky dolls. Very cool
Oh,
interview.
Eric, yeah,
Yeah.
Zuzu Dolls. Yeah, I actually met him at CreepyCon or Creep IE Con. And I went out of my comfort zone and asked him, like, hey, would you like to be on an episode with me? Which I don't really do like in person, right? And then he was super open to it, and I was super happy with that. He said that he even do one of my Chucky dolls for free. And I was like, I can't do that. Like I had to pay you. Like you're
Yeah, of
doing a
course.
service for
He
me.
does great work. I saw his Instagram. I was like, this is
Amazing.
fantastic.
It is dope as hell. You guys need to go check that out. But yeah, I love to um get with creators, like anyone, I would say, and just go based off of horror. And I don't know, I just love it a lot. I love putting myself in characters' shoes and thinking of like what I would do in their situation. I would probably die, maybe, who knows?
And I mean,
But
that's part of advice. That's what we're doing here. We're putting ourselves in their shoes. It might
yeah,
not
yeah,
be
exactly.
horrific, but horrific things may happen.
Exactly. We're not going to be in a salt trap, We're going to be in someone's like toxic life. Who knows?
I mean, the way some of these men act, I'm surprised it's not a saw trap.
Yeah, I'd rather be in a salt trap, honestly.
Put me in the bear trap than have me deal with some of the things that these people go through.
Yeah, but I would really appreciate you guys if you guys go check me out. And I also do love to do like photography, technically a little bit, like some like bloody work here and there. I don't know. Fake
Yeah,
blood is fun.
there was a lovely Hellraiser themed promo pic that he posted. That one was really cool.
Yeah,
The
thank
Hellraiser
you.
episode, I had such fun doing it. Like I
Yeah,
really had such a good time doing that.
I'm glad that you actually joined me because my friend Betsy, I mean, she was super happy with how it came out, and I was super happy. And she just like, Jake is so sweet.
Good.
So
Shout
go
out
check it out.
Betsy.
Yeah, shout out Betsy, y'all.
I think I said that in the episode. I was like, shout out Betsy.
You
Shout out
did.
Betsy again.
Yeah, she's like, you didn't even give me like a 5 minute thing. Like 1 second could have been fine. I'm like, no, I'm gonna hype you up, girl.
Hell yeah. She
Yep.
deserves it. Well, let's get into these questions. First up, we have a couple of Instagram questions. I'm going to keep them anonymous. The first one is, if you were a character from a fighting game, who would you be and why? Now, are you into fighting games?
Yeah, I love fighting games. So I love Mortal Kombat. I grew up on Soul Calibur. I grew up on Tekken, Street Fighter. So
Okay.
I know all my games. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But what character would I be? Fuck. There is a long list.
Choose like
But
three. Let's do like Sun, Moon, and Rising.
okay, let's see. I really love Reptile from Mortal Kombat
Okay.
and just something about him. I mean, I love the color green. That is one of my favorite colors. So I would say him for sure. If it had to be a girl from Soul Calibur, it had to be Talon. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's the one that has like those weapons on her arms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I
I
know.
don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're called, but I feel like I resembled her during that time frame because it was like I think she was like one of the younger ones in the
Mhm.
game, and I was really young playing it, so I was like, oh, I could be her. And you can't fight crime if you ain't cute. So there's that. And then third one, if it was, I would say Tekken. Yeah, I would probably say Tekken. It would be that little dinosaur. I just, I don't know if you played him as him. I think it was like in Tekken 3. Like he was like an unlockable character, like
Yeah.
super secretive. And only because, I don't know, he's just really destructive. And I just want to be him. And he's just out of the ordinary, like something that you wouldn't even choose to be. Those are the three, I would say, at the top of my head.
So my picks are a little weird. I would say that I am a Morrigan son because you gotta be, cunty boots slay to like you say you can't fight crime if you're not cute. So
Yeah.
I'm a Morrigan son. I am a Gore Moon. If you're unfamiliar with Gore, Gore is from a game called Star Gladiator Plasma Sword. It came out in like the late 90s. It was available on PS1 and in certain arcades. He's this weird alien with like little elf ears and a big old brain, and his like main
Mhm.
power is that he can like shoot poison at you and he can turn really big or really small. He's really
Oh,
weird.
kind of like my dinosaur.
And he fights with a cane.
Okay. And it makes sense with the poison touch pod.
Yeah. And then my third character is King from Tekken. I'm a King Rising. I love King. It's my favorite.
The tiger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Or is
great.
it a jaguar? It's either a jaguar or
Tiger,
it's something.
it's an animal.
Oh wait, actually, scratch all that. I'm a Krogunk. I forgot Pokken Tournament, the Tekken Pokemon crossover.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't play that. Man,
Oh my
I didn't even
god.
think of that either,
I just thought of
honestly.
it. I just thought, yeah, it's one. It's that's a really good fighting game. I
Hmm,
wish it had more of a competitive scene because it's super fun.
it's on the Switch only?
I think it's on the Switch only. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll have to check it out.
it's
But
a
so
good
you
time.
kicked King out? Dang.
No, no, no. I'm keeping King. I think I'm gonna
Okay.
kick out Gore.
Okay.
I'll kick out Gore from Star Gladiator. I'll swap it with Krogunk.
Oh, okay. Those are good. Those are good choices.
The next one that we have, they say, "What do you do when you feel like you've done all that you can, but you can't do it anymore?" And to preface this, I will say, if you want to submit a longer question going into the specifics of why you feel like you've done all that you can and you can't go on anymore, what is it regarding? Is it regarding a relationship, a friendship, a job? Is it, whatever that is? If you want to get into it more, I really do urge you to submit a full question because I know
Mhm.
Instagram kind of cuts it off at like two sentences. Like you can't really put a lot. So
Yeah.
if you're listening and you see this, please put in a full question to get into the real nitty gritty of it. But
Yeah.
for this, I will tell you, give yourself grace. Don't give up. I know a lot of people are really hard on themselves. So if you feel like you've done all you can, but you can't do it anymore, maybe try to give yourself some grace. Really step back from the situation and see, is it really all you can do? Pardon me. And then if you really feel that way and you can't go on anymore with whatever the situation is, maybe ask for some help, you know? Can't do everything alone.
Yeah, you really can't. And I would also say too, don't compare yourself to other people because that is like one of the biggest thing I struggle with as well. And I've learned like throughout the years that I shouldn't compare myself to some of my friends that are doing much more than I am. So like people that are buying houses or like someone that has like a much better paying job. Like there's just things that like don't feel like content at the same time. Like you want to work harder for and it'll get better, of course, in time. And everyone's struggling with their own demons. So I would just say don't compare yourself and just keep working and you will all get through it.
Boom. But yeah, I mean, they didn't give us any specific thing, so we just kind of have to give it like the
Yeah.
really general information.
Yeah, exactly. Because it
Yeah.
could literally go eat like any way possible. So I'm thinking of it
Hmm.
more like work based or like personal sort of,
Exactly. Like
but
it
it's
could be so
generic
many
at the same time.
things. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, if like really, if you're listening to this and you're like, you want to get into the specifics of it, give us a full question because you could put paragraphs in there. And believe me, I will edit it down because that is what I do. I make
Yeah.
it, legible. I make sure we can read it.
Yeah. So just give us that and then we'll try to answer it a little more better for your understanding.
Exactly. So thanks for submitting on the Instagram though. Next up, we have a voicemail, and I call it voicemail very loosely because this was submitted from a friend of the pod who came into the bar when I was working one day and was like, I have a question for your podcast. I said, okay, let's do it. I whipped my phone out and I said, record it. So here it is.
There's a friend who tends to get jealous whenever someone else gets more attention in public than they do. On top of that, I, as the friend, tend to get more opportunities than he does in general when we go out in public. He is attractive, but tends to get upset when he doesn't get all the attention when we go out. My 30th birthday is coming up. I plan on grabbing a group of friends and going to Mexico. I'm worried and hesitant to ask him to be a part of that group of friends if we go to Mexico and go have a great time and he begins to make the night about himself if no one shows him any attention. Jake, to you, my question is, should I risk inviting my friend? He's a good friend. Should I risk inviting my good friend to this birthday event in Mexico for my 30th birthday with the chance of him getting mad that nobody there is into him?
Okay.
Well, damn.
So, it was recorded in a bar. So for people who are like that audio quality, bitch, I tried my best. I tried to
It's
cut
not that
out all
bad.
the sound. I tried my best. I tried. I might do
Yeah,
a
it's pretty good.
walkie-talkie filter over it at the end because I might just try to squash all those frequencies. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was pretty good. I was able to hear it, and I don't think it was that bad of quality.
Okay.
But we can definitely go into his question for sure.
Let's get into the question. Let's call him. Let's give him a name. We will call him Mexico, but you have to say it like that because the way he says Mexico, I live for it.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So Mexico.
Mexico.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. I would say, I mean, it's your birthday. And I personally think that you should do what is going to be best for you. Like you could be a little selfish in this moment. And I would say that if he's going to probably make it about himself, then to not invite him. And that's just me because I don't want to have any type of drama, especially on my birthday, like a special day, because I want to have fun and I don't have to worry about someone else like getting all upset that they're not getting the attention that they want and things like that. Or you can go the other way and just let him know, like, hey, you can come, but I do want to have like this conversation with you. And like as a friend, like if we can please just don't make it about you. And like we're all here to have fun. And that's
Yeah.
literally it. I don't know if he brought it up before to him, if he does have like issues with like the attention. I don't know if he has.
I don't know. I wonder about that. It doesn't sound like. Well, I mean, he didn't give us anything to say that he has brought it up before, but it
Yeah.
sounds like everyone in the friend group knows this about this person.
So maybe I feel like he might know, or maybe he's just not, he hasn't been told yet. It could be either way, you know? But at the same time, I feel
Maybe.
like you should know some type of signs if all the friends are thinking that towards you.
I think if you don't want to have a conversation specifically being like, hey girl, you have a problem with not receiving attention whenever we're out. I think it
Mhm.
might be better to like, that's one way to do it, but I don't know if you want to save that conversation for right before your birthday and maybe have that at a later time. For
Yeah.
this one, I think it might be nice to be like, we're going to Mexico and it's not about hooking up. You know, this trip is not about going out and getting dick because we could do that back at home, right? This trip is
Mhm.
about me and my birthday. So you're instead of being like, bitch, it better not be about you. You're being like, this is about my birthday. We are going out as friends to Mexico for my birthday. Like basically letting him know it's about you without letting him know specifically
Yeah.
to not make it about himself. And then maybe
Subtly.
after the trip, be like, all right, we gotta talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Why
we're
do
all
you
grown-ups, you know?
yeah, why do you crave attention like this, girl? You know?
Yeah. I mean, he is older, I would assume. Well, maybe. I mean, if he's
Maybe,
turning 38, I mean, I don't know if his friend is around the same age, but
maybe. But we're all grown.
we're
So
all grown
you can't be
here.
getting mad if somebody at the club doesn't want to talk to you and they want to talk to your friend. Like,
Yeah,
are
you
you really
should
getting mad at
wouldn't
that?
yeah, wouldn't you want to be happy and be like, yeah, you should hype him up and things like that. And if that's your friend, I don't know. But unless you're trying to take his man, there's that too.
I have a solution that I think could work out pretty well. Okay. And I thought about this for one for a lot.
Mhm.
I think you should have two birthdays. Okay. The one birthday you have in Chicago with all your friends, make sure that he's invited. Okay. So you have all your friends there, big group. You guys go out, you drink, you celebrate, maybe you do a brunch. Have a whole party there to make sure that everybody's there, no one feels left out. And
Mhm.
that way, the Mexico trip is just your inner circle. And then you don't have to invite him because
That's true.
he already gets to celebrate you at the Chicago party. And if anyone says anything about the trip, you could be like, "Oh, girl, we only had like 5 slots, and these are the people that came in first." You know, so then he really can't feel bad about it. Like, oh, the Airbnb only fits five, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That is actually a really good observation
I
in that
think
point.
that's a good way to do it without ruffling too many feathers.
Yeah, and then you could still have that conversation. I feel like as
Oh
an adult,
yeah,
you should still have the
you should
conversation
have
no
the
matter what.
conversation no matter what. I just think
Yeah.
without starting problems about being like, you didn't invite me to Mexico,
Yeah.
I think you have a second birthday to avoid that problem. And
Mhm.
then you can have the conversation about why do you feel so much jealousy when it comes to desirability? Because that is
Yeah.
like that is a very serious problem that we should get to the root of, you know?
No, it definitely is, and I don't know that it could just be him, like, he just wants that attention all the time, and, like, he seeks, like, validity or
Yeah,
validity? I don't
why
know
is
the
he
word.
the
Yeah.
validation?
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that conversation is much needed for sure, but in a later time. I wouldn't want you to do that before your birthday, and then, like, you guys, like, got into an argument, and then it kind of affects your birthday. Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
want that for you.
Because it could be like a self-esteem thing. It could be something way deeper than just like I don't like when my friends are getting some and I'm not getting some. You know, like there's probably
Yeah.
something deeper there that he might need therapy for, or he might need to talk to a professional about. So, like, I think
Yeah.
when you do have that conversation, it's important to go in with love. Don't like really accuse him and be like, you do this and I hate it. Do
Yeah.
so more in a way of like twisting it to be like, I care about you and I've
Like
noticed that this happens. And I'm
mhm.
curious as to why you feel this is so important for you to seek validation from strangers at the bar, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You can avoid that confrontation and then definitely spin it the way Jake said it. I think that's the best way to do it without like getting into an argument and
Mhm.
losing a friend potentially. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
I
because it
don't know
doesn't
how that
have
would
to
be.
be an argument, you know? Like I
Yeah.
think there's a way to frame it to just be considerate
Yeah. And
because
caring.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they said that he's attractive, so it's not like he's like butt ugly out here talking about like
Yeah.
why is nobody like
Yeah.
me?
Well, he has like 10 people probably hitting him up.
Yeah. hmm
So
So I
yeah.
think there's ways around this, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
the two birthday situation was probably your best bet.
Yeah. There's a light at the end of the tunnel and you can definitely send him one way
Yeah.
to the first one.
So I did pull some tarot cards for this situation. So we're going to cut to that really quickly and then we can see what the cards have to say about this situation. Welcome to Miss Tio's Tarot Corner. It's time to talk about the cards. So I pulled a couple cards for this, right? And we got a pretty powerful combination here. I'll show you this. We have the Knight of Pentacles as well as the Knight of Wands. So 2 knights, meaning we're talking about action here, as well as the 5 of Pentacles. God, I hate how shitty this camera is. For those of you on the Patreon, I am working on getting my nice camcorder set up instead of using this crappy webcam. But yeah, so the Knight of Coins and the Knight of Wands are both about action. The Knight of Coins is more about steady work and slow work, being reliable rather than impulsive. Whereas the Knight of Wands is about passion, energy, moving forward, experiencing new things. And so I think when you relate this to your trip to Mexico, the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Coins is the one getting you through the planning of it, and the Knight of Wands is your experiences when you're there, right? Now, where your friend comes in that you're worried about inviting, this is where the 5 of Coins come in. The 5 of Coins is oftentimes about money, but in this situation, I think it's more about general worry and a feeling of isolation, like you can't talk to anybody else about this problem, when in actuality, I think it might behoove you to talk to some other friends that you are close with who might also realize the same problem with the friend in question and get their input before making a final decision, right? And I think it is important to focus on, because I think both of these Knight cards, these are both you. They're 2 different sides of you, right? The 5 of Coins could also represent the friend in question. Maybe he feels a sense of isolation. Maybe he can feel kind of the energy shifting around y'all. So I think in that case, like I said in the main episode, is important to invite him to something, you know, even if you don't have like a second birthday, or like I had suggested, do something with him, you know, because you just say he's a good friend. It's not like you don't like this person. So maybe the 5 of Coins is hinting towards his sense of isolation rather than your worry about bringing him to Mexico. But I think the important thing to focus on here is the 2 Knight cards. This is a powerful combo. You have all the passion and new experiences, but also the wherewithal to know it's going to take work to get there, and it's okay to go a little slower and to hash out all the problems before you get to have all the real fun with the Knight of Staves, you know, the new experiences, the seeing new things, eating new things, the passion, the energy, which is all things you want to experience on a birthday trip, right? Finally, the moon card that I pulled was the Waxing Crescent Moon. It says, have faith in your dreams. Now, the Waxing Crescent Moon is similar to the Knight of Wands. It's about working toward your dreams. It's about that slow and steady kind of thing. But it also gives you the positive outcome of the Knight of Staves. It tells you, you know, to have those experiences. So this is kind of like the reinforcing the other 2 cards that I pulled. Before we leave, if you have a voicemail, send in a voicemail at 312-725-6483 to, you know, get some tarot cards pulled, and then I can keep doing this because I like Miss Tio's Tarot Corner. It's fun. Wow, the cards are so magical, you know. Tarot cards, they really just tell you everything you need to know. The thing about tarot cards is I don't use them to really divine the future, right? I use them to give you something to think about. So the way I do it is a lot less mystical, and I'm more so being like, let's consider this when we're entering a situation. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're not summoning ghosts here. We're not summoning spirits, but we are figuring out the best ways to think about that, you know. And maybe we should have that conversation. We should summon some spirits.
We should. We'll have that conversation one day.
My boyfriend just bought a box off of Facebook Marketplace. It's really pretty. It's like a ornate chest looking thing, but it was only $20.
What year was it built?
I don't know, but I'm nervous that it's a Dybbuk box because it looks like it's holding a demon.
Oh yeah, that in my head, once you said the box that he bought, I literally was thinking a Dybbuk box.
It looks like a Dybbuk box. I'll send you a picture.
Not gonna lie, I kind of want one, but I wouldn't open it to be honest.
It's like shaped like this, so kind of like a vase. It's got curves to it, so it looks weird. If things start happening around my house, I will be well documenting it so that I can come on the Fearquency podcast and say, yes, I have a haunting.
Is that why there's like a shadow behind you?
Oh no. Let's not start. Let's not start.
It's not a dig box. I'm sending you good vibes. I promise.
Good. I got lots of protection here.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, it's like it wants me.
I went
Who knows?
to this witchy shop the other day and bought tea that was based off of the strength card for the tarot, which I have tattooed on my body. So I got it for that. So I was like, okay. And strength is about inner strength. It's not so like physical strength. It's about strength of the mind. So I'm hoping that tea will give me the strength that I need to repel whatever ghost is in my house.
Yeah, you definitely can. I'm a firm believer. If you do not give it energy, then it will leave you alone.
Perfect.
So,
because all the energy here is for me. So
yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Get the hell out, bitch. You can send it to me just in case.
I'll box it up. I'll put it in another box and I'll send it in the mail.
I'm like, oh, cute, another Dybbuk box.
I'll attach it to a doll or something. I'll make it cute.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's so nice.
Yeah.
I'll frame it and everything for you. Don't worry.
I'll put it in an Annabelle doll. It could be like Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, Raggedy Ann. Hell no. I used to beat those bitches up.
It could be like a gay one. It could be like Faggoty Ann.
Faggoty Ann? Hey. Faggoty Dan.
Yeah. So if you get a doll, that's what it is. Speaking of bitches, let's move on to this next question from Sensitive Bitch. That is, they gave that title, not me, I swear, okay?
He gave it, I swear.
Advice question. And they write, I'm trying to process my feelings on a friendship that fell apart. This guy and I used to be pretty close and hang out and talk very consistently. At one point, we were hooking up semi-regularly as well, but then when they started dating someone, that stopped. Sure, I'm bummed about losing access to his ass, but I get it and I don't take that personally. But about a month into his relationship, my friend seemed to stop caring about me altogether. I felt like I've had to fight tooth and nail just to get an answer to how was your weekend or other basic small talk. Look, I get it. Some friendships don't last forever, and that's okay. I honestly doubted that this boy and I would be friends until the end of time. I expected us to grow apart one day. I could see the signs of it being a temporary thing, and that's fine and okay. But to be honest, my feelings are really hurt. I feel like I got kind of shut out of his life all of a sudden, and that really gets to me. It wasn't exactly a slow drifting apart, it was a quote unquote great friends, decent friends, nothing, in the span of maybe 6 weeks. Like I said, I get that not all friendships last forever, but in general, I'm okay with the friendship not being permanent. However, my feelings are really hurt by the way our friendship ended, and this is someone I still run into pretty regularly out at the bars and such. Whenever I run into him, it kind of stings and upsets me, and I'm pretty sure this is one-sided and he doesn't feel the same way, which is fine. But I hate that whenever I go out, my mood and good time can suddenly drop if I run into him since I'm not over it yet. This is a me problem, I know, and I don't put the responsibility on him for me to get over it. But any tips on getting over it so I can go back to having fun without constantly worrying about running into an ex-bestie? Have you ever had an ex-bestie that you've had to deal with seeing around in public?
I have not had an ex-bestie. I've had like ex-hookups.
Oh.
And I do see them at the gym sometimes, and like I'll run into them. At first it's like awkward, but like after it's just like a hi and that's it. But like we don't communicate or anything, but it's just more like cordial, you know? Ex-besties though, no. I'm usually like pretty close with like my friends and like I guess consider best friends. And yeah, I haven't had that situation, but I do have questions for him. For the specific individual.
What are the questions? Let's see if we can get down into the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I did have a list, literally.
Okay.
I want to know how they met. Like, was it like platonic? Was it just something like you guys were, let's say, for the gym, for example, like you guys met there and like you guys became friends? Was it an app? Was it a mutual friend? Things like that. How long did you know him for? Because it kind of sounds as if you kind of knew him for quite some time. I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
We know at the very least it's over 6 weeks because that was how they went from great friends to decent friends to nothing. So yeah, over 6 weeks. I'm assuming they were friends for longer before that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was like kind of like based off of that. So I'm like, okay, they were friends for a while and then it started to dwindle after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
If this was the case, like they were friends before, was it supposed to be a friends with benefits thing? Or is it just strictly friends and then you guys started hooking up? Because that's just what may happen sometimes. And like did like someone initiate it? Like, did he initiate it? Did you initiate it? Because then you guys are going to probably catch feelings for one another if you guys start to hook up. So that was my other question, if you caught feelings, because it kind of sounded like you did, in my
I think
opinion.
I honestly think maybe the other friend caught feelings. Like
Oh, the one that like ended it?
I think so. I think maybe
Mm.
once he started dating the other person, he may be like, I have potential feelings for sensitive bitch, and because of that, I'm gonna cut this friendship off because, I don't wanna, you know, put myself through that or whatever.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like they were pretty close. They used to hang out and talk really consistently, and then at one point they were hooking up semi regularly. But then when
Hmm.
they started dating someone, that stopped. Okay, that makes sense, right? You start dating someone,
Yeah.
you stop hooking up. But then he like stops caring about him altogether, and that's what I'm like. It's either two ways, right? So either sensitive
Yeah.
bitch has feelings for the friend, but it doesn't sound. It sounds like they just kind of want to be friends. They're not like
Hmm.
sure they say I miss I'm bummed about losing access to his ass, but they don't take it
Yeah.
personally. They're not like I'm in
Hmm.
love with him. So I think really to me it kind of reads like the other person might have feelings for them, or it might
Hmm.
be one of those situations because there are some people that like when they get in a relationship they cut off like anybody that they've ever hooked up with, even if they're not
Hmm.
hooking up at that moment, like it could be strictly platonic, but they're
Yeah.
like out of respect for my boyfriend or whatever, which doesn't make a lot of sense because you're not hooking up with the other person, right?
Yeah. Okay, that was my other thing, because I was thinking it of that aspect of like out of the respect for his new boyfriend, or I know they weren't together, but out of respect for his boyfriend, he didn't want to like hang out with someone that he hooked up with before. That's
Right.
how I saw it as
That's what
well.
I think is happening here. But at the same time, and that's a whole other conversation about what that means. Because it's not like you're
Yeah.
still hooking up with him, right? Like you started
Yeah.
as friends and you hooked up semi-regularly. It's not like it was always a hookup situation. Like you guys were friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's, I mean, he could be overthinking it as well. I mean, I'm a huge ass overthinker. Well, like,
Yeah.
let's say, like, for the guy that got into the relationship, right? Like, maybe, like, down the line, he's like, oh, like, if his boyfriend, his new boyfriend would be like, oh, how do you guys know each other? I mean, yeah, you
That's
can say
true.
friends. And then he's just like, I feel like the boyfriend would probably ask questions like, oh, well, if he's attractive, especially, I'm pretty sure they're going to ask, like, did you guys ever hook up or anything? Because I think it can open up like a can of worms that's not needed. And maybe
I
he just wants to
guess.
avoid that. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
No, I guess
I'm
I could see that. I think I'm just always like we're gay. The community is like a little smaller than other people. Of course, people are gonna hook up with people that they know. You know what I mean? So to me,
yeah.
but maybe that's just me. To me, that doesn't
I,
really bother me. Like if I meet like one of my boyfriend's exes or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, we like used to hook up or used to date or whatever. I'm like, oh okay, cool, nice to meet you. I'm not like stay away from that
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. I guess because I haven't had that situation, honestly.
Yeah,
So like I haven't like for the people that I've hooked up with before, like I've never like had my boyfriend meet or anything like that.
yeah.
Right. So and I think it could be just because of the city that I live in. So there's not really a
Maybe
lot of gay people here.
Chicago's pretty close knit as far as the gay
Yeah.
community is. Like everyone knows each other, so it's a little
Yeah.
different over here. I'll say that.
Yeah. So I mean, I know based off of like LA. So like I know I live like an hour and 15 minutes away from LA. So like it's completely different like from like right here. So like if I have like a friend that's gay, like in this area, it's like very rare.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, okay, it's cool. But then people are like, are you guys hooking up? I'm like, no, we're not.
and like no bitch,
So
we can be friends. I have gay friends.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that hasn't happened in my situation. So like that's why I'm trying to like kind of degut this as much as
Oh
possible
yeah, of
and like trying to
course.
really think about it. But it could be that, I mean, in my what I would think, like for the guy that got into a relationship, I think I'd be that person that would also cut the other person off, like if I've hooked up with you. But I think I would say it like I would ask
Yeah,
and
like
like let him know, like have a conversation. I would have a conversation with
you
my
would let
friend.
sensitive bitch know, be like, hey girl,
Yeah.
okay,
So that was something that I did notate. I was just like a conversation would have been nice, and like just to explain the situation and
yeah,
say like, hey,
which
I'm starting to date someone, and I think we're gonna become like boyfriends, and I think it would be better for the both of us if like we either like stop, like, I mean, it'd be nice to be friends. Like, I mean, if you guys can keep it friends and like that's it, and then just like be like, we're gonna pretend as if it didn't happen just for the sake of like my relationship, whatever. I don't know. And then like you guys can remain friends, but if not, because then it could be like, yeah, he had feelings and he doesn't want to cross that line again. Because like, what if you guys are able to hang out one on one, and he's like, oh well, I know we've done it before, so like, let's do it again, kind of thing.
Well, then that would be on
You
him
know?
being a cheater, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you would
Yeah.
think he'd be able to trust himself enough to be like, "Bitch, I got a man. It's fine. You could be cute or whatever, but I got a man. Thank you."
Yeah, exactly. So it could be a little difficult. And I think it is just like the awkward conversations that, I mean, as an adult, I mean, I don't like to have awkward conversations and I try to avoid them as much as possible, but sometimes they're needed.
Yeah, they
And you
definitely
just,
need to happen sometimes, which I
yeah, you
think
just,
sensitive bitch's friend definitely should have
yeah.
done it. Even if it is a painful conversation to have, I think it would have definitely solved all this if he had just come to you and be like, "Hey, I know we've been getting distant. Here's why X, Y, and Z." Boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
Because then you can either fix it or you can be like, actually our friendship has outgrown. Because that happens. People outgrow friendships.
Yeah.
The next part about this though that I kind of feel, right, because they ask how can they get over it.
Mhm. Um,
For me, I think with some people seeking closure can work, but you can't expect to get closure from everybody, right? It's
mhm,
just not realistic in some cases. Some
mhm.
people aren't going to give you that closure. Here it doesn't sound like he's going to give you that closure because you were fighting tooth and nail to get an answer to how was your weekend. So
Yeah.
evidently he's not talking to you, and not getting that closure, in a way that is an answer, and it hurts to not get closure. But part of that, you should know it's not really on you. It has everything to do with the other person, you know?
Yeah, because they're not reaching back out, and at least you're attempting, and then, I mean, that is basically like he's kinda giving you a hint, but, like, at least say like, he should say something,
Like it's
like,
an
instead of
answer. There's an answer within the lack of answer.
exactly, and even though, yeah, it does hurt, and it's like, "Well, fuck, like, what the hell did I do?" And it
Mhm.
kinda leaves you with so many questions after. It is hard, it's difficult, and I would say if you have, like, a tight-knit group of friends that you can rely on as well, like, you can have conversations with that.
Mhm.
I would say too, because, like, in the gay community, I'm pretty sure maybe you guys have mutual friends, and if they end up hanging out with each other because I saw that or in the what you're writing, that they run into each other at the bar. Is it because, like, you guys have mutual friends at the same time? Like, you guys are all, like, trying to, like, figure out, like, you guys can all hang out? 'Cause that could be a thing. I would probably
Uh,
say maybe not hang out with the people that he knows that you might know, but also, like, have open communication with your friends and be like, "Hey, this is the reason why I'm not gonna go out," and it's completely fine. But at least you
yeah.
have that communication, you're letting them know.
Yeah. And I think another part of this is try not to internalize the lack of closure from him, Don't
Mhm.
make it to be like you feel like something's wrong with you because he wasn't able to give that to you.
Yeah.
It's important that you continue to go through the rest of your friendships with the same amount of care and love that you put into this one, even if
Mhm.
they always don't turn out perfectly. It's not your problem fully.
Yeah.
The part about running into him at the bar, I will give this anecdote. Okay. I think I've
Mm.
talked about this on the pod in an episode about a year ago, I think. But I had an ex friend who I would see sometimes out at the bar, and we, for a while, would say hi to each other and stuff. But then uh, that wasn't working. At one point, he cried on my shoulder at the bar, and I had to be like, "Girl, you're okay." And then eventually, I reached out to him and was like, "We can be cool if you give me an apology. That's all I need."
Yeah.
That's it. It's simple. I just need you to acknowledge that there was wrong done. And we can move past this. I'm not saying we're going to be best friends, but we could
Mhm.
see each other out at the club. I could say, "Hey," and that could be it, right?
Yeah.
He did
Cordial.
not he did not give me that apology.
Damn, bitch.
He did not give me that apology. So, similarly, I did not get that closure, just similar to this
Mhm.
situation. And in that case, if I'm out and I see him, we don't look at each other. It
Yeah.
doesn't ruin my day or anything. Because I'm out with my friends. I'm out with the people that I want to see. I'm out with the people that I want to hang out with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let somebody that I don't talk to dictate
Effect.
whether or not that I have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna
And
have
that's
a
fine.
good time with the people that you are there with and that you love, and that they're there to like care for you as well. So
Yeah.
they show you that same
He's
love.
with his people. I'm with my people.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a time where we know mutual people, I'll say hi. It really doesn't have to go past that. I don't think it's that
Y-
serious,
Yeah, exactly. You guys can be cordial and like that's it. I mean, I don't think anyone's really gonna notice like, oh, why aren't they not talking? Kind of thing,
But yeah, I will talk to everyone else. I love to talk. That's why I have a
Yeah.
podcast, like,
Yeah.
so I think focus on that, you don't even really have to be cordial. Because I think being cordial is like, at the very least, doing
I
small
guess
talk.
friend.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
true.
think you have to do that. I think you can literally just say hi
Mhm.
and continue about your day, It's not
Yeah.
like you have to get a shot together. It's not like you have to be like, oh, this weather that we're having. You could be like, hey, girl,
Yeah.
it could just be that. And I think it'll take some time for you to get there, right? Because I'm sure, like you said right now, it does hurt to see them out and about when you go to the same bar. Maybe you both like house music and you're both at the same bar that plays house music, or maybe
Mhm.
you both like the drag queen that performs at one bar, so you both go to see her and you just happen to be at the same bars. Focus on the fact that you are out to have a good time. You're not out to see him, and he's really not out to see you. So I think it's okay to just pass each other by.
Yeah, that's true. I'm over here like it's okay to be sensitive at the same time too.
It is okay to be
So
sensitive.
yeah,
Yeah, feel
we
it.
all have our emotions. Like, yeah, just go through it. I know it's hard in the beginning, but then after a while, you're gonna laugh at it later and be like, why was I doing that? Maybe.
Yeah, you could be like, girl, I was tripping a little bit,
Yeah,
and
but
that's
it's fine. I
fine.
mean,
That's
yeah,
fine.
we all get through those emotions and those feelings. I mean, it's not like I
Mhm.
haven't done something like similar to that with like anyone, but your feelings are valid for sure.
Yeah, it's completely understandable to have your feelings hurt by the way that the friendship ended. And that's why I
Yeah.
said before, don't internalize that hurt,
Yeah.
It's not a
Mhm.
reflection on you, because you tried. You reached out to them to get answers. You were, trying to keep up with them even while they were in this relationship. And also,
Mhm.
some people get in relationships and drop most of their friends.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, some people really, like, they get a man and they become all about my man, my man, my man, and they don't talk
Yeah.
to anybody.
Probably it'll take a couple of years and they're like, oh, I'm alive. So I
Right?
wouldn't
And
take it too hard.
they break up with the man, and then all of a sudden they're like, where my
Yeah.
friends at?
Like,
Where's
hey,
everybody? Bitch, you
how
left us in
y'all
the
doing?
dust. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
That's how, yeah. So, I mean, there's like a variety of reasons why this could have happened. And I think it's important to realize that it's not on you. It has everything to do with him and his lack of communication. You
Yeah.
tried.
I still,
You tried.
you did try. I want you to answer those questions though, for sure. The ones that I
100%.
asked in the beginning.
I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I want to know more.
And this is a good time to say, if you have an update or if you want to respond or elucidate something about your question that you put in.
Mhm.
I love getting updates. I like reading them. I always have a great time with them. So submit an update, answer Aaron's questions, because I'm curious too. I want to know.
Yeah. I'm chismoso as fuck. For real.
Maybe they met on the Green app. I don't know.
Bro,
We'll
I don't know what.
We will
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
into the Green app in a couple
Yeah.
questions. The Green app.
I don't know what the fuck that
Oh my
is.
God. Who knows? We'll find out. Also, this is a good time to say all of the advice that we give is strictly for entertainment purposes, because we are not experts. We're not therapists.
I'm definitely I'm
We're
no
not
expert
lawyers,
whatsoever.
So
Yeah.
entertainment purposes, I have to give that disclaimer. I always forget to do it, but yes.
Yeah. You're like, I considered it.
Let's move into this next question.
Mhm.
This is from Gengar. It's a sex and love question. And they write, is it weird that in my early 20s, when I was depressed, I utilized the Green app for hookups? But now that I'm older and in a better mindset, I have zero idea of what I like sexually, nor if I'm a top, bottom, or verse.
Well, Jake and I both had a question for you
We did have a
specifically.
conversation on this, yes.
We did. Because I sent him a message and I was just like, Jake, What the hell is the green app? I've never heard of this.
I don't know what the green app is. I
I
thought it
don't
was
know.
iMessage. I thought it was WhatsApp. You thought it was
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
I thought it was WhatsApp. I'm over here, Cash App. I don't know. Anything
Yeah,
green. I
something.
literally searched on Google and I
Green
put
app. I
green
googled it
app,
too.
hooking app. I don't know. And nothing came up. Well, some things came
Duolingo.
up. Out. Hey,
That's
for
the
all the
green app.
Spanish poppies out there, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If
So
you're finding hookups on Duolingo, you need to submit a question because how the hell are you doing it?
I, I would not put it past someone if they did somehow in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
But yeah, answer us to that question because I really personally do not know. In regards to your like question as a whole, I think that it's not odd, I would say, but it probably wasn't the healthiest thing to do because if you're in a depressed state, then you're not in the clearest state of mind to
You're
try
kind
to
of
do
like
something.
you're looking for hookups to get that serotonin boost from that
Eh,
that that post nut, you know.
Yeah, and then you're probably gonna have yeah, exactly. So like once that happens, you're like, fuck, like why did I do that potentially? Because I've had those situations
Oh
before.
hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there, but maybe you just needed some type of affection, and it was kind of just something to fuel that for you. I wouldn't say it is a bad thing, but now that you're older and you kind of like you grow as you get older, of course. And even though as cliche as that sounds, you start to understand what holds more value towards you. And sex wise, I mean, if you don't know what you are, like top, bottom, verse, I don't think that's really a big issue. It's more of like, let's say you get into a relationship and it's what you're kind of feeling at that moment. It's just like, oh, I want to do this at this time. I want to do this at that time. I don't
You
know. I
could be
mean,
a side. You might not be any
yeah,
of those. You might not be a
y-
top or a bottom. You might just
you
be
know,
on your side shit, and that's fine.
I just found that out what that was because I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like,
I love a
okay, I
side.
get it. Yeah.
I might be in my side era. I think
Yeah.
I'm kind of over this shit. I just,
Yeah.
a little sucky
Well,
sucky, play around, that could be it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, everyone gets into their eras, like whenever you're on Twitter, you're like, I'm in my top era, I'm in a bottom era, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we all need to get into like a different era sometimes, but you get to understand yourself and you get to figure out what you like more, what you don't really like. And hopefully you can find someone that you can actually experiment with if needed. And you're like, you know what, I like this more. And but again, like even if in a relationship, you just have to like kind of find that spark sometimes.
You can even experiment just with yourself, get some
Yeah.
toys, try using those and see if you like
Hmm.
those. They sell masturbating toys that will give you the experience of what it is like to top. They have dildos. You can try out bottoming and things like that. Uh, there's all types of stuff out there. So either if you're nervous to experiment with someone else, maybe try out with toys, see what makes your body feel good,
Hmm.
focus on that. And then when you do find someone that you feel comfortable enough to experiment with, um, then you have at least the baseline knowledge to be like, I did like when I tried this out and that felt good. That way you have a little
Hmm.
something to go off of. But also, I feel
Yeah.
like if you're on apps looking for hookups, maybe try to hang out with someone before hooking up, get to know them a little bit, ease them into
Hmm.
it, and then that way there's like a little less pressure rather than like showing up to DL a non-tops house and you're expected to bottom and you're like,
The
I don't know
fuck?
if I like this, so try
Yeah.
to find like a hookup friend situation where you can hang out and get to know each other a bit, and that way when it comes time to get down to the nitty-gritty, you can try out some stuff.
Yeah.
And don't be
And
afraid to be a side for a little bit. You don't have to be a top or a bottom. Be the
yeah.
side. Embrace the
Don't
side.
embrace the side. You don't have to feel pressured. Like feel comfortable with
Yeah.
yourself and feel comfortable with the person that you're going to be doing anything with. And I know like from like past experiences, like I know apps are very draining
100%.
and it's just like it takes so much of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely say, if possible, try to limit your time on there if you are going to try that again.
Yeah,
But I would
go
definitely
to a
go,
bar, meet somebody,
yeah, do like the regular thing. I'm always like, go to the gym.
The
You're
gym.
like,
Go to the gym, get a gym hookup.
yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure they're out there.
That's somewhere, I don't know. I've never encountered it. No, I did once.
Uh-huh.
I was at the gym. It was late night because my gym is 24 hours. This was years
Mhm.
ago when I first moved to Chicago.
Mhm.
So I'm at the gym and I was doing my laps because I used to do laps in the pool. I still do occasionally. So I was doing
Mhm.
my laps and then I went into the jacuzzi afterwards. I'm sitting in the jacuzzi. This guy walks into the pool area. And you know when you can feel someone staring at you?
Mhm.
It was like that. And no, this is not going into a horror movie, but it could have.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what's hot about it, right? So he
Yeah.
comes in and he's like, yo. And at first I'm not really listening. Like, yo, yo, yo. I'm like, what's up? You know, he's like, is it cool if I join you? Sure.
Sure.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Uh-huh.
Why not? Join me. So he gets in the hot tub. He sits on like the opposite end, which is like fine. And I'm just, you know, because I'm chilling because I had a full workout. I did
Yeah.
cardio. I did my workout. Then I did my laps. Bitch, I'm tired.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm not
I
trying to have a conversation. I'm over here
am
like freaking
tired.
about to hyperventilate.
I'm like trying to breathe. I'm trying to get my breathing right. And
Yeah.
then he starts talking to me, and he's like you have a really nice figure, and he's like, you know, admiring my body and stuff. And I feel like I was so oblivious because I was like, oh, thanks, you know, like, oh, thanks, you know, I work
You're
really
like,
hard
yeah, I
for it.
know.
And then he's talking to me or whatever. And at one point he like stood up and I was like, damn, this man is packing. But I didn't say anything. And eventually I went to go shower or whatever. And when I was
Mhm.
on my way to the shower, he was going into the steam room. He gave me a look. And I didn't realize what that look meant until I had already left the gym and was on my way to my apartment.
He was trying to cruise with
He
you.
was. And I was
Yep.
like, I'm in my car and I said, shit.
Yeah. You're like, wait a second. Hold up.
Yeah, like, come back.
Yeah. Fast and
So
Furious 11.
yeah, that could, you know, I don't. How did we get here?
We got here because I said you can
Gym
go meet.
hookups.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's more of like you can meet people outside of an app.
yeah. So don't be as
And
oblivious as I was.
yeah, I'm
Go to the
oblivious as
steam
fuck too. So
room.
I totally get it. I'm over here like, are you flirting with me? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I can never tell.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Same.
but I don't even know where I was gonna go with that. I think I just told this story.
Yeah. You're like, you just wanted to talk about that packing man.
Oh, I did. I did. But I did want to say this. Make sure that you are also advocating for yourself. I think it's really important if you're not comfortable with something during a hookup or when you're with somebody, it's important to say,
Mhm.
I'm not okay doing that. You know, if they
Yeah.
really want you to bottom and you'd want to bottom, and you're like, I'm not in the mood, I'm not ready, it's not happening. Make sure you are advocating for yourself. It's important to stand up for yourself in any situation. And we don't want you to, you know, just because you're not sure if you're a top or a bottom, we'd want you to be like, okay, fine, I'll do it, even though you don't want to. You know, it's okay to be
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing that today.
Yeah. You have to be in the right mindset too, because there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to do certain things. And if I'm not feeling it, I can't
Hell
force
yeah,
myself to
you
do
you
it.
gotta want it. You
Yeah.
gotta want it.
Exactly. So that's for you, sir.
Yeah, cool. But give us an update. Let us know if you find out whether you're a top, bottom, reverse, or if you go to the gym and you find yourself someone in the jacuzzi. If you go to the
Yeah.
club and you find yourself someone at the club, let us know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'd love
Or
an
you
update.
be in your side era as well. Try
Yeah,
that
and
out.
if you just decide you want to be a side, let us know that too, because
Mhm.
that might be my gay agenda right now is just promoting like the side hustle for everybody.
I feel like I've been in my side era for the fucking longest.
And
I
you know,
don't even know what it was.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there isn't.
There's a lot more, and I think this is important. I talk about this a lot. It's important for us to remove ourselves from the notion that sex has to be you put it in someone or someone puts it in you. The end result is both of you finish. You know,
Mhm.
focus on having fun, focus on enjoying each other's bodies. Don't focus on like the end goal so much. I think a lot of people can get in their heads about that, and that can cause people to have all sorts of problems. They can't stay hard because of it, because they're like so stressed
Mhm.
about it, or they finish too quickly because of it. I think it's important to take your time, enjoy the bodies of each other and the closeness that you're feeling and the intimacy of it all. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, sex could end with neither of you finishing. Nobody can
Yeah.
come, but you could still have had a good time and you could walk away and be like, all right, that was really cool. Now let's
Yeah.
order some pizza. You know, like it could be whatever you
Yeah.
want it to be. Sex doesn't
Yeah,
have to be
exactly.
like, you know, top, bottom. That's it.
Yeah, it's your guys' moments. Like no one else needs to know what you guys are doing.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, Unless you're filming it for OnlyFans, which in
Yeah,
that
I was
case,
literally
send
in
the
my head.
link.
I was like, if it is OnlyFans, that's literally it.
Send us the link if it is. We're gonna skip ahead a couple questions because I want to cover this one, and then after that, we're gonna move on to the second segment.
All right.
So this question is from Romantic Bitch from SoCal. It's a sex and love question. They write, "Hey y'all, I have a genuine relationship question. At what point in a relationship do you get your significant other the big present? BIG, all caps. And when I say big, I mean a present that costs a couple of $100. Examples being a smartwatch, a piece of jewelry, maybe a really nice pair of boots. What are your thoughts? What do you think?"
You call me a thought?
Yeah, I mean, we're all thoughts here. And we're
We're all
proud
thoughts
of
here.
it.
Yep. So I'm always that person that feels like if you really love someone, like it
Mhm.
doesn't matter the amount of money it is, that you will still buy it for them. I kind of like go based off of like my best friend. So
Mhm.
my best friend bought me the Nintendo Switch with a couple of games. That's a huge ass gift.
That's an investment right
And
there.
yeah, that is. And we're not together, but like we're just best friends. But in the situation of like your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, I think like if you really truly care for them, the amount of money really doesn't matter. And I don't think it should matter to them as well. Like in my opinion. I mean, I would be fine if you guys get me like, or like if my man got me like a freaking horror shirt, like I'd be excited. Like I don't
Yeah.
need a smartwatch. I don't think there's really like a specified time, like when you should get someone the big present or a big present. I mean, of course, Christmas time maybe because people usually go all out during those time frames. I mean, I know I have like I bought mine like headphones that he really wanted,
Okay.
but there's times where like we don't even get each other like really much Christmas gifts. Like it'll be like, oh, here's a pair of underwear. I'm like, okay, you know?
Like, here's a pair
So
of socks, you know?
yeah, and you know what? Those are things I need. So I'm cool with it. But yeah, and to answer your question, I don't think there's really a specific time that is right. I mean, as long as it's right for you, that's the only thing.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I
Yeah.
don't think there's a right time in general. Like, I'm not going to say only get it after the 1 year mark, you know, because I don't
Yeah.
think that's true. I think whenever it's right for you, depending on how much you value presents as a love language. Because
Yeah.
some people really like giving gifts to someone they love. Some people couldn't care less about getting a gift or giving a gift, you know?
Yeah.
Like my man and I for Valentine's Day, we didn't give each other shit. We just kind
Yeah.
of hung out. I think we like
I
made
think your
dinner.
guys yeah, I think your guys' relationship is probably like ours then because we didn't give each other anything. Actually, this year, oh yeah, he got me conchas, like Valentine conchas.
Oh, that's
That's
cute.
hey, I'll eat those shits up. I eat all of them,
Oh yeah.
honestly. But yeah, I mean, it is definitely like on your own time. Don't feel pressured by society of like, oh my God, this person bought this person this. Like now, like what should I do? And like if
Yeah.
you see like you guys are in a year of relationship and like your friends also in the same thing and they got them like this biggest thing and you didn't, don't again, it comes to like the comparing of one another. Like don't do that.
Hmm. And also don't go like out of your means, you know? Don't like
Yeah.
splurge on a really big gift that you really can't afford just because you think, oh, I've been together with him for 2 years now and I really want to get him something good. You know, I think
Yeah.
you can make any gift really important and really thoughtful on a budget to fit your budget. You know, I don't
Mhm.
think that an expensive gift necessarily makes a good gift.
Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with that because
Yeah.
again, I'm that person like less is more in my opinion,
Mhm.
and it's really cute if like they make something like more than like buying something. Like I
Yeah.
would probably prefer like them making me something. I don't know, just like the smallest things, but like it's the thought that went behind it. Again, like a horror shirt too, like because you know that's what I love, and
Yeah.
I really I'm
It's
going to use that all the
thoughtful.
time. It is. It's like my friends too, where they're like, "Oh, I thought of you because like I saw this and I bought it for you because
Mhm.
it was something horror related." And I'm like, even like the smallest things, you can get me like a freaking $1 thing, and I'd be like, "That's cute because you thought of me."
That being said, I know there are people out there
Yeah.
that do think that they require some big present after, you know, some amount of time. And in that case, I think you might be in a sugar daddy situation if that's how your significant other is feeling, and they're like, "We've been together for a year. Where's my Birkin?" You might be a sugar daddy without realizing it.
Exactly.
And
And
in
then
that case, it's time to evaluate what's going on here.
it is at least you're in the year mark, so it's not that deep, you know? You can leave if you
Yeah.
need,
Hmm.
but yeah, just try to like live within your means, just like Jake said. I wouldn't want you to take out a freaking loan of like
Oh no.
$5,000 because you needed to buy them something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like I've got friends who have been with their significant others for years, and like they don't really buy each other big gifts. And I've had friends who have been in a relationship for like 3 months and are buying each other expensive pairs of shoes and bags and all types of stuff. It's really just based on your preference of how important you find gift giving is, how important your partner finds gift giving,
mhm,
because not everyone's love language is gifts. I personally,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same boat. I mean, I definitely do like receiving them, but I'm not expecting it at all.
Yeah.
Like it's
Hmm.
just more like the thought that someone was thinking about me. So like I like that aspect.
Yeah. I'm
Love
like you.
language, I
You
mean,
you give me an ice cream sandwich and I'm happy, right? Like
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my God, you brought this for me. Thank you so much.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just us. I think it's important to know that other people aren't like us, and that's okay. Some
Yeah,
people are really into gifts. Some people really want that. So I think this is, like we said, case by case basis.
definitely.
But
I'm not like the
with
biggest materialistic person. So
yeah.
it's like, as long as I have the bare minimum, that's fine.
Mhm. That being said, if someone wants to buy me a piece of jewelry or a smartwatch or a really nice pair of shoes, girl, I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
it. You know,
exactly. I'll take it, but it's like,
I'll
I'm not
take it, but
gonna,
I don't need it. But I'll take
exactly.
it. It's the
Exactly.
thought that counts, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for submitting that question, romantic bitch. With that, we are going to take a break, and we will be right back with a very special edition of Advice to the Stars. And yeah, we'll see you then.
All right.
We are back. What a lovely, lovely break that was. Aaron, how you holding up?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to get into some very special advice.
Mm, I'm actually really excited for these ones.
You know, I opened up my spirit box. I turned on my EMF meter. I reached out through the ethers into space, and I grabbed some advice questions from some very special characters, from very special people. I'm not too sure who they are, but I figure I've got the spooky bitch with me, so I feel like you're the perfect person to help answer these questions.
Yeah. I was like,
So,
I know I'm excited. Because you tied into something that I love a lot, and I get to give advice to these people if I was in their situation.
yep. So this is not advice to the stars. This is advice to the spirits. Our first question is from High School Good Girl. It's a general advice question, and she writes, so my friends and I are trying to have a super good time at sleepovers and whatnot, but every time someone falls asleep, some freak shit happens and someone gets cut up. I couldn't even take a calming bath without some insane boiler room stuff going on. How should I deal with a man in a Christmas sweater? Do I call him a slur? Do I run to the hot boy in a crop top? I'm tired and need rest. How would you help this person?
Honestly, I would say get a new group of friends. I mean, if you're gonna live your Kia little girl life, I feel like that's who it is. I'm just throwing that out there. You can be selfish also. Also, I'm always an advocate for being selfish in a horror situation. If
Mhm.
someone is not going to follow you because you know something is chasing after you guys and no one's believing you, whoever's going to be there next to you, take them with you. Like everyone else, it's your life.
I
And
I
you
think it's
didn't.
okay to be like, let's not go investigate the noise.
100%, 100%. So I really hope Jake would be that person that's next to me and be like, yeah, well, let's dip because we're not going to go investigate. I ain't doing that shit.
It really depends. It depends
It,
on the noise.
yeah. If let's say it's like freaking Chris with the big muscles and like you can see his happy trail just peeking a little bit out of his crop top. He has a really thick legs on him.
Yeah,
You
then we might
know,
have to go investigate the noise. I don't.
you might have to, you just might have to risk it. But personally, I mean, if he's such a big person, you can just push him to the side and be like, okay, he might take a little bit and then you can run. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't let that stop you as well. So if you need that,
How
get it.
how do you outrun a man in your dreams wearing a Christmas sweater? That's the hard question here, you know?
It, that is difficult. And I think he just needs a friend, but also call
Mm,
him a slur, because if he's gonna just cut you up no matter what, I will also say call him a slur. Call him every fucking slur you can think
uh,
of, because if you're gonna get hacked up anyway, at least go out with a bang, literally.
hit him with the "you're not scary, you're
Yeah,
not."
I know the fag with the Christmas sweater is not gonna say anything.
Oh my god, you better let him
Yeah,
have it
yeah,
and
I
set
would.
timers on your watch. Get a watch, set a timer, wake yourself up. You know, bring
Yeah,
him with you into the real world. These are all
exactly.
things that would work.
Yeah,
Many have tried.
wrap your arms around him, even if he might potentially stab you. Just like open arms, and take him into the real world, so then you can defeat him.
Yeah, and think about how his skin looks. It looks like you could peel him like an apple, bitch. You know?
Yeah, he's gonna call you a bitch all the time. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, just call it back to him. I don't think that there is anyone that really is saying anything back to him, and I think that's what he needs. He
I
needs to
think
be
that's
put
the
in his
problem.
place.
Put him in his place.
Put him in his place. And Kia, yeah, she did that, but
Hmm.
in different circumstances though, because she didn't have the upper hand in that moment. She could have technically, but
Yeah.
someone else was there. So it
I,
just
I
depends.
I think in a perfect world there's a way for her to have handled that a little bit better. But
Yeah,
there was a surprise guest that came in at the end.
it was. If there's surprise guests and I'm not aware about, I'm so sorry, girl.
I don't
Can't
know.
help you there, because I need to know everything. I need to know the whole premise.
Yeah. And then we
But
hear
yeah, I was like, oh, we're in a different movie now. So never mind. Hold up. Scratch whatever I just said. You don't need no timers anymore.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So that's my advice to you, high school
yeah.
girl.
Good luck, high school girl.
Yeah. I'm rooting for you.
Don't have sex. That'll immediately, put you in a
Yeah.
bad place.
Oh yeah, you're on a list. Once you're gonna have sex, the list, you're dead.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that. Yeah. If Chris is there and you want to do it, then hey, you already
That's at
made
your
your
own risk,
exactly. We told you not to do it. But he's hot. I
Mhm.
get it.
Like I understand it. Like I get the
I
vibe.
get it. I wouldn't be mad.
This next one is from Country Girls Might Do. It's a sex and love question. And she writes, I'm gonna do my best country accent.
All right, let's hear
So
it.
I'm a star and I'm on the fast track to being famous. The only problem is my most recent flick ended up going belly up fast. This old woman kept stalking us, and then her and her geriatric husband got it going on in the bed that I was supposed to sleep in. How can I help them reignite their love somewhere else so I don't have to deal with the smell of Bengay and cum?
Well, damn. Why were you there in the first place looking at them having sex?
I don't
Hmm?
know. Maybe she was hiding under the bed. Maybe she couldn't get
Yeah.
out. We don't know the specifics here,
We don't know
but
the specifics, but if we had to really like kind of think about it, maybe. I think because she had a sort of attraction, the old lady did, towards you. Like you already had that conversation in the house.
you got that
Like
X factor.
you
You're a
have that
star.
X factor. You're a star. You are a sex symbol.
Hmm.
And you just need to let her know, like, you still got it, girl. Like, what's keeping you from like popping that puss, putting on some lingerie on? Like, your man's still gonna want you, because,
Hmm.
and like you can give him a little bit. I mean, the only bad thing is that he has a heart condition. So, but again, we don't have to have him get hard or anything.
Yeah, we
Like
don't have.
he could just,
He can have
he
a
has a mouth.
hard condition. He got mouth. He got fingers. They might be a little
Yeah.
wrinkly, but he still got them.
Exactly. And maybe, who knows, you might have something lying around in your wardrobe. You might have something in your luggage that may potentially be of dick shape, and you can use
Introduce
that.
a toy. If you're
Yeah.
the elderly man should really start using toys, or if not a toy, a sheath. He can put it over himself, so he still gets a little pleasure, but it's not.
Yeah.
His heart condition won't be as endangered, right? I think old people need
Exactly.
to experiment with toys. I think that would have solved every problem here with
That would
Country
have
Girls
solved
Might
every
Do.
problem. Yeah, exactly. Just hand him over like a dildo type thing, you know, like something similar to that. He has a mouth. That ain't going anywhere. His
Hmm.
heart might be a little faster than usual, but you guys need to take breaks. And that's
Yeah.
okay
Take
during this
breaks.
moment. Yeah. And like, I'm pretty sure you might need a little break here and there because you need to kind of maneuver yourself. You're not as limber as you were before. So
Hmm.
if you get up and you might hurt your back a little bit, like you guys need to calm down, but you can
Take
still
time
have
for it.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't get it on like you used to, but you can still get it on, and that's
Yeah.
important. And
Yeah.
no crocodiles, no alligators, please leave them out of
N-
it. Leave
Yeah.
them out.
Leave them out because they have nothing to do with this situation, okay?
Yep.
Like this is about you and your old man, your
Hmm.
love.
You're
And
the
I
love of
know
your life.
I know y'all had some hot sex before, so y'all can still do it again, but
When he got back from the war,
yeah, I know y'all fucked for days, pretty sure.
days straight while there was
Just,
pig rotten in the kitchen.
hmm just like even help her like slide up some candles and then just be like, okay, once you guys are done, like I'll help you clean up. Like just be nice,
Yeah.
you know, like just try to be as cordial as possible. And you don't want to get blasted in the wrong way. Finger blasted,
Or
yes.
pitchforked, you know?
Pitchfork, yeah, definitely not. You don't want to get blasted by a shotgun. You don't want to get
Hmm.
thrown to the alligator. You don't want none of that. Like you want to him to have a good time, and you're there to help him.
Alternate universe where the film crew shows up like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and they just help this old couple reignite their love for each other and reignite their sexual awakening as like 85, 90-year olds. That could have
Yeah,
been the alternate universe that we could have had, you know?
yeah. They just gotta bang it out. That's literally what it is,
Of
and they got
course.
it. They were able to do it. And
All
that
of
scene, I
Pearl's
mean,
problems would have been fixed by that.
exactly. All she wants to be is loved. That's all she wants. She
Love.
just needs the affection, and
Why
I
are you
feel
leaving
that.
me? If I didn't do nothing, why are you
Yeah,
leaving
no.
me?
Why are you leaving? I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, so that would be that would be my advice to this country
Yeah.
gal.
Country girls make do, can keep on
Hmm
making do, and reignite some love. And, you know, maybe tell them not to have sex in the bed you're supposed to sleep in. Tell,
That
tell,
too.
tell them to bring it to the main house. They don't got to do it out in the, the
Yeah, like
cabin.
why you gotta go where I'm sleeping? Like you have your own bed, it's probably more comfy and you're more comfortable in it. I don't know why you gotta go, and you're too old to walk that far. Like save your energy, conserve your energy.
Conserve it.
Yeah, use it in the bedroom.
Exactly. And no
Yeah.
reverse cowgirl at your big age.
Yeah, no,
You're too
it's
old for
missionary.
that.
Missionary, and that's it. That's all you guys are gonna
Missionary.
get at this moment. Missionary and some little licks here and there. But that's it.
I think they should enter their side era.
They are the ones that should be in their
They
side
really
era.
are.
Yes,
At
you are
age 90,
correct.
you have to enter your side era. It's just that's
Yeah,
praxis, you know?
yeah. It's just needed. I mean, I know he might not be able to get hard, but you can still suck it. That's fine. It
Like,
is what it is.
who cares if it's like a gummy worm? You know,
Yeah.
sucking dick from scratch makes you one of God's greatest soldiers, and I believe in you, country girls make too.
I know you guys can do it. You'll find a way.
You got this.
And you will live to tell the tale.
Well, you gonna get your life for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Our last question for this segment is from someone typed hellish job. It's a general advice question. They write, so I have a dilemma. I'm middle management at my job. I have a couple of subordinates, none of whom talk very much, and we all report to a pretty demanding big supervisor. He's got a god complex. Recently, I had a guy try to weasel his way out of a contract from under my nose, which totally pissed my boss off. It got even worse when some chick showed up, causing even more problems. Not to mention, she had on giant earrings and shoulder pads. She kind of served. How should I deal with customers giving me grief? I know it's a pain in the ass, but is there a way I can balance pain and pleasure for all involved? Hmm.
Hmm. This one semi-difficult for you, sir, because there's just some God complex a part of this. And if you do not serve him correctly, what's going to happen to you?
Yeah,
And
we don't want to get you fired. Make sure you take care of yourself first.
yeah, I think you definitely need to get into wraps with the chick that is causing more problems because she might be able to give you some solutions. Even if she is giving you some type of problem, there is a bigger problem at hand that she knows that you would want. So I, this is from me to you. I would say get with her. Is her name Kirsty? Don't know. Is it Christy? Should have been.
No.
Um, who knows? I think she would be the best bet, and I think she would be able to provide you who you're looking for. And I know there is another lady there with some giant earrings and shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely serve cunt the whole time,
Whole
for
time.
sure. And she, don't worry about her. You don't have to worry about her. I feel like you
Yeah.
can just leave her alone. Like
Leave her for the second movie. She'll be
leave,
okay.
yeah, just leave her for a little bit. She'll come back if needed. But I think what you need to focus on is the other chick that is dealing those problems, and she'll be
Mhm.
able to provide you your solutions that you're looking for.
I think you can make a deal with her. I think be reasonable.
Yeah.
Your job has confines, evidently, like you said, your middle management, you gotta report to somebody. So I'm sure you have a lot of rules involved. Talk
Mhm.
to her, let her know how she can help serve you to in turn serve themselves. Because really, at the heart of customer service, you have to let the customer know that they're wrong without letting them know that they're wrong. The customer has to feel like they're correct, even
Exactly.
if they're not. So you have to trick the customer into helping you. And if that helps get the guy who tried breaking the contract, there might be a way to do a little trade, you know?
Exactly. And she might come back and she might help you with more things. So,
Exactly.
hey, at least you made a deal with her and then now she's kind of a servant for you. So that's what's going to happen. At least you didn't get an issue. You gained a good thing out of it. And
Yeah.
you found that person that broke that contract.
Hmm.
So that's what
So
we'd give you. That's the advice.
yeah, and maybe talk to your subordinates a little more. Like you can't do everything alone. Talk to them, get them to help you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're able to like be in different rooms at different times, like you guys don't all have to be in the same place. You guys
Yeah.
can have conversations, like carry a walkie-talkie if needed, and be like,
Hmm.
hey, I'm here. This is where this person's at. And like, okay, cool. I have this person. And
Yeah.
you guys can work together.
Or
Like,
if not a walkie-talkie, maybe a box. You never know.
oh, exactly. You never know what's in store for you guys, but I'm sure there is a way to communicate together
Hmm.
apart.
Because when you have fun with your coworkers, you could raise some hell.
You literally you literally can raise some hell.
Yeah, you could raise some hell.
Yeah. And no cry and no tears. It's a waste of good suffering as
It's a
well.
waste
Remember
of good
that.
suffering. Yeah.
Remember
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
always.
No tears. Maybe threaten to tear someone's soul apart. Maybe that'll help burn some steam off.
Yeah. I mean, just show them some chains, rip some people apart if needed.
Exactly.
Because
Have
I
fun.
feel that. Have some fun with
Yeah.
you. You guys are always gonna have fun.
When you have fun, you don't work a day in your life. So I think
Exactly.
it's important to remember that, no matter what your job, even if you're just middle management.
Yeah. You're gonna have a great time. There's no
Yeah.
dilemmas here.
It's a tough job, I'm sure, but I believe in you. So
And I believe in you as well. I mean, you need to collect everyone. So
yeah. So
that's what you're
thank you
there.
so much for submitting. Aaron, this was so much fun. I've had such a good time with you.
Thank you. No, I had such a great time. Thank you so much for letting me join your podcast.
Of
I know
course.
it, and I'm so happy that these ghosts submitted their questions as well
I
because
know.
this was a great time.
Same. We were really able. I think we helped a lot of people today.
I think we did too. I mean, of course, we're not therapists, but I think we did great. I think we did a
Yeah.
great job.
We helped a ton of people today, But before we end, Aaron, do you want to promote anything? You want to give the people your socials? Let them know where they can listen to Fearquency. Let them know where they can follow you.
Yeah, of course. So you can follow me on Instagram at Fearquency. So it's just one word. And then you can also locate my podcast, which is the Fearquency podcast on Apple, Spotify, or honestly anywhere you listen to podcasts. But other than that, that's the main thing. I mean, I'm going to have a lot of things in store. I have a fun guest coming for this next week. And I'm really excited about that. Nervous is an understatement because I don't want to fuck up.
Ooh, I'm sure you'll do
And
great.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I really hope I do. I mean, I have, if you guys want to know what it is going to be my top 10 choices of 2000s horror of what I would want to give to a friend or someone that wants to watch movies in the 2000s. These are going to be my personal top 10. And hopefully you guys agree. If you disagree, then you can let me know.
And if you ever want to do a 90s horror themed one, you let me know. I love me a 90s horror movie.
Okay, perfect. Because I do want to do like the 2010s. I do want to do the 90s. I want to do the 80s and things like that. So that is all in store for the future. So we'll definitely, I'll pencil you in for the 90s
my
one.
people will talk to your people. You know?
Yeah, we'll get together. I'll have Archie call you if needed.
Yeah. You know, I'll have Krogunk reach out.
Yeah,
My
okay,
secretary.
Yeah, but thank you so much. I had such a blast. I really appreciate it. And
Thanks, of
who knew
course.
that horror and advice would come together?
They go hand in hand. You know,
They
I think
really
there's
do.
a spot for it. I have been Jake. You can follow me at Poison Touch Pod on Instagram. You can follow me at Krog Hunk to get all my personal stuff where I talk about X-Men. I talk about sometimes horror movies. I talk about Dune a lot recently because I'm reading the Dune novels. That's on Twitter and Instagram as
Nerd.
well. 100%.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure you leave a review. Give me some 5 stars. I'd like to see that stuff. And if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, copy link, all that type of stuff. And for $5 a month, you can join the Patreon. That's patreon.com/poisontouchpod, where you can get full video versions of every episode, bonus episodes, and lots of extra content. I will be reviewing and recapping X-Men 97 on the Patreon. I have my Library of Alexandria series on the Patreon where I answer some old questions. And what else am I doing on there? Lots of stuff. I have a couple other series. I didn't want to spoil anything, but I have a couple other things on in the docket.
And
you
know,
but yeah,
it's in the box.
It's in the Dybbuk box. Yeah,
it's in the
all
Dybbuk
in
box.
the Dybbuk box.
He just has to open it, and if you don't see him, then you kind of know why.
Yeah, you know, I might be the next advice of the spirits. You know.
Yeah, then I'll try my best to help you out, get you out of that situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Oh, and if you like JRPGs, I am currently doing a challenge where I play one in-game day every single day for an entire year of Persona 3. We are currently on day 3 at the time of recording, so tune in on my Twitch or my YouTube to see me play some JRPGs.
Awesome.
Catch y'all next time.
Sounds good. Bye. Take care.